So Lee Selby wins 12 round unanimous decision over Omar Douglas. Now, the fight's just ended there. They've just read out the scorecards. There was two scorecards of 116, 112, and a third scorecard of 115, 114. Watching this fight throughout, watching the full 12 rounds, I didn't score it myself personally, but I felt that it was close. And I just kind of felt that, Lee Selby will probably get the decision, but Omar Douglas definitely gave a good account of himself. Lee Selby, the rounds where he won, which I think, I think Lee Selby won this fight, put it like that. I think the right man won. But the two clearest rounds for Lee Selby, in my opinion, were the fourth and the fifth rounds. They're the rounds you could definitely say Lee Selby won them rounds clearly. He was boxing well, he was jabbing well, he was counting punching well. He caught Douglas with a good few little counters coming in, nice little check left hook as well. But all the other rounds, it was kind of a tale of two halves. You had Lee Selby doing his usual outside fighting, boxing on the outside, jabbing. But Douglas was finding a lot of success with pressure in Lee Selby. Douglas had the longer reach in this fight. He's a 72-inch reach, which is very, very long considering he's quite a short fighter. Realistically, Douglas is a super featherweight. He's been campaigning at super featherweight. He only weighed 132 pounds as the weigh-in. So realistically, Douglas is a super featherweight. Now, Douglas was throwing a lot of hooks. He was throwing a lot of body shots. Some of them were kind of a bit below the belt line, but Selby threw a few shots below the belt line as well. But Douglas would get Lee Selby on the back foot and would get him up against the ropes. And that was when he was having his success. And a lot of the shots Douglas was landing were more eye-catching than the one Selby was landing. Selby's not someone who sits down in a lot of his shots. He just kind of flicks the jabs out. Doesn't really put much power behind them or much weight behind them. Probably hence the reason why he doesn't have so many stoppages. Also, Lee Selby had to contest with two cuts, just like in the Josh Warrington fight. And I suspect that the scar tissue from that fight hadn't quite healed, which is why both eyes were cut in the Warrington fight. They opened up again here. They were dripping down blood from very early on in the round. I think it was the second round where one of Lee Selby's eyes was cut, and I think it was the 7th or the 8th round where the second one got cut. So, they were from clashes ahead, to be fair, because Douglas was a bit reckless coming in with his head. But, judging from what I saw in this fight, it was a decent fight. Neither man looked spectacular. Lee Selby, if he's going to stay at lightweight, I really don't see him picking up a world title. Lee Selby, as good a boxer as he is, I think defensively he's a little bit vulnerable. I won't say chinny. He's not chinny, but I think defensively he's nowhere near as slick as he would have you believe. I think that the beating he took against Warrington, and he didn't take a beating in this fight, definitely not. But I just think that Lee Selby, at this stage in his career, coming off that beating he took from Warrington last year, moving up 2 weight divisions with champions like Mikey Garcia, Richard Comey, and of course Vasyl Lomachenko, I see it being a very, very tall order for him to try and pick up a world title in this division. Really do. Really do. You may have guys like Tank Davis moving up in the future. I really see Lee Selby struggling at this weight division, definitely. We've seen a super featherweight essentially give Lee Selby a world of issues in this fight. I think that moving forward, Lee Selby may want to think about maybe going down to super feather, potentially, if it's not too much of a stress on him, because I think lightweight, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for Lee Selby, and as well as that, I think he's going to be out of the ring for a while with them 2 cuts. He may have to contest with that moving forward, because how long will it take for that scar tissue to heal? That Warrington fight was in May, and that we're in February now, towards the end of February, nearly a year later, and he's still having issues with them eyes opening up. So I think Lee Selby, he's a good fighter, definitely, and I think the right man won this fight as close as it was. It was a good fight. Definitely recommend you go watch it. But I think that moving forward in the lightweight division, I don't see Lee Selby picking up a world title unless Vasyl Lomachenko decides to vacate, move up to 140, which I don't see. Mikey Garcia, he may move up. Luke Campbell versus Lee Selby, be an interesting fight. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Richard Comey is a good fighter, and I think he would beat Lee Selby as well. So, not trying to hate on the guy. He's a good fighter. Lee Selby, very good fighter. But those are my thoughts on this. Did you enjoy the fight? Leave your thoughts down below. We got Joyce versus Taverne next. I don't expect that fight to last too long, so I'll expect to be back talking with you pretty soon. So those are my thoughts on this fight. Leave yours down below, and I will talk to you after.